Welcome back to the Comic Book ASM Artist. Today we're doing another comic book haul. So we're gonna have a little ramble and stuff mixed in here too, but I got some pretty good stuff. So first of all, we have Batman and Superman number 6. This is continuing the infected Batman Who Laughs storyline. And it just really continues to be a solid book. I love the art in it. The story's really interesting as well. We've been seeing a lot of really messed up characters. Like this is Commissioner Gordon here. He's one of the infected. And it's just been heavy on action and great visuals and all that. So props to David Marquez. He's listed for the artist for this. And he's done all the issues. So I highly recommend this. If you're not checking it out, go pick them up. We had our first big snow, I wouldn't call it a snowstorm, but first big snow last week, and then everyone's been sick in the house. I have somehow managed to not get it, but my wife has been, battling this thing for almost like 10 days now. So, and then all my kids got it and everything too. So this is the special. It's a 4-part miniseries that comes after pretty much everything that's been going on with the Year of the Villain. And so we see, I'm trying to remember what they keep calling this. Apex Lex is this version here. And I still need to check out the Justice League recent run. I did read the one issue that had the climax where Superman fights Apex Lex, and that was so cool. But I want to go back and read all the other stuff. So this is done by Steve Epting here, which, like I've said before, I loved his stuff for Captain America. But I think the colors may be just too bright on this. But I'm surprised because I think he is inking himself too. And I don't remember him being very heavy with ink. Like, it seems like the lines are a lot thicker. But I like Steve as an artist, but I think I liked his Captain America stuff better. Yeah, it just says, well, it has him mixed with Javier Fernandez here. So, maybe, I don't know, but I don't think he was listed on the previous one for credits. So yeah, the other part is my glasses managed to break right here. This is super glue on here now, but so last week I did a vision test and ordered new glasses that'll be here, I think, probably next week. But I went through America's Best, and there's supposed to be 2 frames for $69.95. But apparently, and they don't tell you this anywhere until it's time to check out, but if your prescription is really, really high, I guess those glasses, lenses aren't covered under the cheaper price, so it ended up being like $214 instead of $69.95. So I still owe them $14 for it. So that's part of the reason why this haul isn't a super huge haul, and there's not a lot of like bonus half price stuff, but Next we have Spawn 304. And this is just continuing on, God continues to have just kind of like a master plan for everything here, but we do see a Christmas tree, so always disorienting when I see books coming out that have Christmas stuff in them, but it's already past Christmas, almost a month ago now, so. And I think that this did come out this week, or it could have come out last week, but I don't think it did. But yeah, Jason Sean Alexander has a great art style, and I look forward to where it goes for sure. Oh, and then there's a Humble Bundle sale going on right now. If you're into digital books at all, you can get a ton of Spawn books for any price you want to donate. I'll list a link to that if I can find it below. But you can catch up on a ton of Spawn stuff. And it helps charity, so. Next is Nightwing number 68. So we can see some nice character career summary here of Dick Grayson, and really well done. I like these big page spreads here. So the main reason I'm continuing to be hanging on to this book is waiting for Dick Grayson to get turned back into his old self, because he's had issues where he had memory loss and has been going by Rick Grayson, or maybe just Rick, not even keeping the Grayson. But and in the past issues here, his mind has been perverted by the Court of Owls. So this issue here is him continuing to deal with that internally and hopefully coming out on top. Next we got Napoleon Dynamite number 3. And I'm sure, as most of you know, this is Napoleon's brother Kip. And this is his wife here, LaFonda. The one thing that annoys me though is when he appeared at the end of the last issue, and even in this one I flipped through a couple pages, he doesn't keep the same look he had. See, this is what he looks like here. This is what he looked like in the movie. So he doesn't have the do-rag or any of that. I am surprised with how text heavy this book is, though. I would say this book is probably has the most dialogue out of any book that I'm buying right now. Granted, I'm not buying any Scott Snyder titles right now, so that might be why. We all know he likes to write a large volume of work in a single issue. Next is Turtles Urban Legends number 21. And this is soon coming to a close. So it's reaching its conclusion here. And as I always say, it's just really weird. But, I haven't read a lot of them. I think there are bits of early Turtles history where they've had some really crazy stories. So I know they've had where they've encountered aliens, outside of the Krang, but your typical green or gray aliens. This is a fun looking spread here. I'm surprised I thought Raph was out of the Shredder armor, so. nice cover stock. Yeah. So it's continuing the weird Christmas cult character thing. This guy's like a Viking or something. I'm not exactly sure. But so that's even crazier than having the single issue. This is part 2 in January. And it's still a Christmas story. And the first part, I think it came out like on New Year's Day or something. I see this here, and this looks like something you'll see in a little bit. Next we got Curse of the White Knight, Book 6. This is Bruce Wayne's ancestor here, Edmund. And of course, cardstock. With a nice shiny, mixed with matte finish. In this series, I think it goes to 8 issues. So it's almost through too. And it just continues to go crazy off the rails too. And they always have this picture in here. The biggest developments I can remember is Harley is pregnant, or she's had the kid now, and Commissioner Gordon is dead. And Batman is teaming up with Harley to figure out how to take down Azrael. It has something to do with a secret from Gotham's history between, I think, Joker's ancestor and Bruce's ancestor. Next we got Superman number 19, and I already read this one. The Brian Hitch variant. So this is part 2 of Superman telling the world that he is Clark Kent. And it wasn't too bad of a read. Not a lot of action in it, but I feel like there's going to be action to come, you know, just kind of a calm before the storm sort of situation. So this is my favorite image of the book, a nice double page spread of him around, you know, the Justice League. I'm not sure why Harley is sitting there, though. That's kind of annoying. And then it goes in a whole, like a completely not on Earth direction. That's really interesting, so I look forward to seeing what happens there. Yeah, I guess the end of the book, maybe the last 5 or so pages have a lot of action in them. Next is Batman number 87 with this nice cover here. Cardstock. think that's the same artist. Not sure. Yeah, this one I read too, and it is crazy. So the Riddler's all like drugged up and out of his mind here. He's on military grade amphetamines, and he's just been obsessing over riddles and stuff, and like even more so than normally. And he has just made himself sick and creepy as crud. Look at him. See the spine from that Detective Comics panel reminded me of this here. He's just all bone at this point. And so, I remember reading a while back that this series was going to take on a really dark horror type direction. In reading this issue, I can totally see that even the Penguin looks more menacing than I've seen him in a while. So, they're really crafting something disturbing with this art. This is by Gilliam March. Yeah, right there. And he's typically, known for drawing, very curvy women and stuff, but I'm seeing a lot more in the realm of horror for sure in this art style here. But I know whenever the New 52 first launched, I think he did a period on Catwoman as well. So, but it's been really interesting. This book is really good, and it leaves off on a good note and very interesting. I can't wait to see what continues to happen. And then this is the normal cover by Tony S. Daniel. Just because I like his art style. And then I'll show you a couple other random things. So this was not an intentional thing. I went into Value Village yesterday. I only have one pair of jeans that fit me right, and they're starting to fray and get holes in them. So I went in and I got 2 pairs of jeans. And then they had this movie for $2. And so I couldn't pass it up. I'd been trying to get it, cheap and used for a while. I enjoyed probably about maybe 70 or so percent of this movie. It has a lot of cool moments. Where there's a part where he saves someone from a nuclear fallout where his back gets all torn up. He's shielding him in a hole. I remember that scene, and just really memorable. And I remember Hugh Jackman really worked out hard to get in the shape for this movie. Because there are bits of it that are like a prequel to the current day Wolverine. So, but $2 for sure. This is, her right here was the most annoying thing. I didn't feel like she fit into this movie. And then they just kind of threw, the Silver Samurai into there. But there were cool moments in it for sure. If you haven't seen it, I say definitely see it. I'm sure everyone who's wanted to see it has. But it's better than Wolverine Origins for sure. So. And then that's the disc there. I hate how they put everything on these where they cut out the recycled symbol. I'm okay with it printed, but where it's just pushed like that, that's even worse, Then there was a fun little Earth X bookmark series that Alex Ross is helping with. I don't think it's full-on interiors from him though, or else I would get it for sure, but or I'll probably just wait for the collection. But I read somewhere that Alex Ross modeled this version of Captain America after Bruce Willis, and if he did, I can totally see it. I've never owned the Earth X book though, because that was one where he did the covers but didn't do the interior at all either. And then there's the Iron Manual. This is to promote Iron Man 2020, which I just jumped off that book just due to financial reasons. But I'm sure it's probably an interesting read. But, I just had to put some stuff by the wayside so that I can do extra, little sporadic things like get other books like trades and stuff, and maybe a figure here or there. So this is just a nice little fun promo. Most of your shops should have this as like a little giveaway. So if you go into your local shop right now, you could probably snag one of these as well as that bookmark. And then these are all the lead-ups, and I'm selling all of my Iron Man books too. I'm trying to sell quite a few of my things just to make room. Like, I've run out of room. All of my boxes have been used at this point. So, I've got 10 comic boxes that are all filled. And then was this little freebie too. This is a sheet, an uncut sheet of Guardians of the Galaxy Valentines. So the writer of the Immortal Hulk will be writing the Guardians. So that could be something interesting, but I've just gotta stay on what I've got right now. But let me try to tear these out just for sound's sake here. I don't even recognize a lot of the characters. I know there's been some shake-up recently with the Guardians. So alright, so we have Star-Lord there. It says, "Will you guard the galaxy with me?" I've got my mind on you. Not sure who that is. I don't know who that is either. It looks a bit like Quicksilver, but I don't think it is, because if it says Kree, I'm sure it's someone who's part Kree. So numbers to and from on the back of all of them. So if you're feeling super cheap and you have a kid with a Valentine's Day swap, go in there and get 4 or 5 sheets and you have enough to give a classroom. So it looks like I've got a little extra time here, so I will make some sound finale sounds for you with the bags here and stuff. So I know I don't get to do it often, but a lot of that then tends to do with the sheer number of books and how many minutes I have left on an episode. So, but I'll make some sounds for you all now. what you want to see. And as always, you have a super